Hello, Build Your Brainers. I'm so excited that you're back today. I thought it was just fantastic the way I had talked about detox and how we were going to detox from microplastics. And then the next day, there were a few doctors that posted about microplastics. So it seems like this is the area that people don't know about. And I'm going to show you the Holy Grail to be able to detox from that. So before we go any further, if you haven't looked into ways of detoxing your brain, I've got a whole series on the three brains that we're detoxing. But what has come out is that now the microplastics seem to be um, accumulating in the brain. And so this video is all about how we get rid of that. As you know, I have a holistic approach to building your brain. And so this is just part of it, and I'm excited that you're here to join me for it today. So the easiest way to detox in general for your three brains is just sweating. Now, as you know from all my other videos, I love to do some biohacking, especially neurohacking. So the biohacking here would be saunas, particularly the infrared sauna, because that's a quick way of getting you to sweat. I know people that have Raynaud syndrome or have, really cold circulation issues, this is a perfect alternative to get in there and sweat to get rid of the microplastics through that. Eating wise, high fiber, anything rich in antioxidants, the crucifers vegetables plus the green leafy vegetables all help absorb those microplastics that then you can just get rid of through digestion. Now, one thing that people haven't spoken about is the phospholipid supplementation. So what a phospholipid is, it actually tries to trap the fat and it supports bodily function. So it supports the cellular health and the cognitive function. So obviously that in itself helps in the detoxification process. And when I say that it traps the fat soluble toxins, they literally go into tiny droplets and they transport them away from the cell or even the tissues. So that all helps again in getting rid of the microplastics. Then the organ of the body that is most important for detoxification is the liver. So a good way of boosting your liver for detoxing is glutathione. Now, there is a lot of research out about the absorption of glutathione and the different kind of supplements to be taking on that. And another hack here is just simply buy something that is liposomal glutathione. Liposomal mimics like the cell membrane around the glutathione. So what ends up happening, just like the phospholipids, when it goes through the digestive tract, the actual integrity of the glutathione is maintained until it needs to get dispersed inside the body. And so the liver can get the full detoxification benefits from the liposomal glutathione. And then they're the basics that we've spoken about, where we want to avoid any type of chemicals. A good relation between the chemicals and the food is that the precursor is absolutely organic. Organic is not going to rid you of all the chemicals, but it is at least going to reduce your chemical exposure, your heavy metal exposure, phthalates, and all those other chemicals we're trying to get rid of. PFAs, and the one major chemical we have to talk about is BPA when it relates to microplastics. There are just certain things that we can't get away with in terms of microplastics. I, for instance, grind my teeth, and so I've had to have a plastic retainer. And so the best thing you can do there is just make sure that when you're using plastic that it's BPA free, but absolutely no plastics for containing your water bottles. And I've spoken also about the copper containers and how that helps with the iron levels in previous videos. So I don't want to make this too long. And that leads perfectly into, we did discuss the effects of water. Of course, we need to hydrate. And being well hydrated, we can detox well through that. And as I say, in my online course, I've got a whole day course where we just talk about the types of water, we compare the types of water, the mineralizing, the demineralized, reverse osmosis, all that kind of stuff. So we can get into that in the course. And oh yeah, if you haven't signed up, please feel free at buildyourbrain.org. And we also have a private Facebook group I can drop in the chat. So the last thing is pretty obvious. We just want to reduce any use of plastic. And I kind of touched on that earlier. And that really is anything. I know it's really difficult. A lot of people use Glad wrap or aluminum foil. Both are offenders. One's for plastic and one's for heavy metal. If you can just put your everything in glass containers for food, and definitely not warm food in any kind of plastic. And one thing that all you Starbucks people out there, or coffee drinkers and tea drinkers, are not going to be happy about is to know that the plastics that you put the hot water in are really detrimental. It actually releases the toxins and the microplastics even quicker than with normal water. So just be like me and take your mug with you, one of those travel mugs. It's pretty easy. So I think that's given you enough to think about. And these are just easy hacks, just one or two things. The most important is the knowledge, that I can feed you with the knowledge and the research that goes behind this and the scientific evidence of how to detox from microplastics. So feel free to share this information, because I know we're living in a plastic nation. So hope that helps. And if you like this, feel free to share it, and we will be in touch. Have a great day.